and welcome. Today's video is all about the makeup that I'm going to be taking on my upcoming cruise. I'll go over some of the products that I intend to take, and today we'll actually try some of them on. So this cruise is going to be a Caribbean cruise. While I have been on a cruise before, I've never been down to the Caribbean. So I want to go over some of the makeup that I'm planning to take. This is not going to be everything, of course, but just a few things. I want to kind of talk them out with you as I go. That way I can get a feel for what I'm going to actually wear while on this cruise. My goal for this is something with coverage, but nothing that is too cakey or too heavy, being that we are going to be at sea or in warmer climates. Right now, even though I am in the south, it is pretty cold. I can't say that I hate it, but I can't say that I quite love it either. So I already have my skincare on, but as far as the first makeup step, I do plan on taking my e.l.f. gripping primer. Don't worry, it's not going to be this one. This one I know is almost out. It's actually going to be the green version of this. So I do plan on taking that one, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to keep going with this pink one. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to be at sea. We are going to be in warmer climates. So I want something that's really going to stick and really help that makeup to last. That is my whole reasoning for taking the e.l.f. gripping primer. Now, to cancel out some of this darkness under the eyes, I'm going to take this Maybelline eraser. This is that pink color corrector. I do plan on taking that to kind of look as alive and awake as possible. Still using my little Casper mirror here, y'all. It works wonderfully. Now that we have that blended in, I want to try a new concealer. For the last few years, I've been using the NYX Bear With Me concealer. This is a serum concealer. I have other videos on it if you would like to see those. I actually just ran out of this one and I have another backup, but I kind of wanted to try something else. So I got this Catrice one here. They're True Skin, and I have 002 Neutral Ivory. This will be the first time trying this one, so let's give it a go. Kind of a different shaped applicator. Not really the typical doe foot. I also like to use a little bit on top of the eyes to kind of prime for the shadows that are going to go on. So far it looks like a thinner formula, but I'm not too crazy about how it looks up close. We'll have to keep playing with that. I do feel like the eyes look brighter and a little more awake. I'm also trying this concealer for the first time directly using this overhead light here. So that could be part of my problem. I am not a fan of the way that looks around the nose. Oh my. Oh my. Can y'all see that? Can you see that? It like emphasizes all that dryness right there. Ooh. Ooh. It might be sticking with the NYX. I just turned around and looked in the mirror behind me because this is the area I usually do my makeup. Y'all, it looks horrible. That concealer is just sitting on the skin, emphasizing all the dryness. It did not actually cover anything. And from here to here, I have a lot of acne scarring. Ooh, I don't think that that's going to be one I take. I think I'm going to take my NYX. But for the moment, we have to move on. So I need to go to eyes. The two palettes I really want to take with me are going to be the Blooming Wings palette. And which one is this? You Give Me Butterflies and the Meet Me in Marrakesh. The Essence one, you're going to have pretty much everything you need. A cool tone look, you can do a warm tone look, neutrals, whatever you need. The Meet Me in Marrakesh is going to have a few more pops of color, a little more shimmer. So I kind of want to play with these. I think today I'm going to incorporate a little bit of both. So I think I'm going to go to the Blooming Wings palette and just pick up this shade right here to kind of put all over the lid. This one does have a mirror, so we'll be using that. I just cannot get over how horrible that concealer is, and I have heard so many great things about it. Apparently I do not have the skin for it. I think I'm going to first warm up the crease a little bit with this shade right here. We're not going to do anything too heavy or too loud because I have something in mind. So I just want this to be a nice little transition shade. As I mentioned, you can get multiple looks out of this palette. And that's one of the reasons why I really want to take it. The outfits I plan to take on this trip are kind of darker, dressier outfits for the night and kind of lighter, brighter, more fun outfits for during the day. And I feel like with these two palettes, you can achieve both of those looks. I'm going to switch over to the Marrakesh palette. And I'm going to go into this one right here. This kind of magenta with the little silver sparkles. I'm going to start from the lash line here and work it up. I feel like this shadow would probably work better with either like a glitter primer or maybe even spraying your brush. Not that it's bad, it's just coming off a little patchy in some areas. But you do have pigment. There is pigmentation there. Alright, and then the crease, I want to use this darker matte shade here. It's kind of like a dark plum, a dark berry. Alright, I'm going to go back to this first shade to kind of clean up that edge a little bit. I feel like I've kind of been in an eyeshadow rut where I've just been doing simple neutral looks and I've gotten bored with that, so this little pop of color, I'm digging. I like it. I am someone who does the eyes before the rest of the face because I need to clean up some of this, and that will happen pretty much with the foundation because I already put the concealer on. Speaking of foundation, the one I'm going to use today is going to be the Maybelline Superstay Activewear. I have this shade 128 Warm Nude. I do plan on taking this one pretty much for the evenings because this one has more coverage. I'm not sure I want this one during the day, but definitely at night. For during the day, if I have one, I think I'm going to take my Revlon Illuminance foundations. Those are a little more lightweight. I think will be a little bit more comfortable on the skin. Alright, so there's the foundation. Let me just tell you, doing this with this overhead light, there's nothing left to the imagination. There is nothing up for interpretation. It shows you everything. I'm not used to that. I'm used to doing it with this lighting here, which is a little nicer, a little more forgiving. But anyway, this is going to be the look. Again, I think it could look better with a different concealer. I know I'm hating on that concealer really hard, but I feel like it did me dirty. For the moment though, we need to move on. And I'm kind of just realizing I should have done a step before the foundation, which would be liquid contour. I have the Milani here in 02 Ginger. I kind of think for some of the days I want lighter coverage, not so much noticeable makeup. And I think for that's when I will use this one. I don't want to put it on now because I've already put on my foundation. I like to put this sort of thing under it, that way it's not as stark. But maybe, I don't know, using this, or I even have my e.l.f. Halo Glow in a darker shade. I could do that as well. The only thing is that bottle is bigger. I don't really know if I want to travel with that, and it's glass, where this one is just plastic. I think this would be the better option. So for now, we're going to skip liquid contour. Don't worry, we've got powder later on. Speaking of powder though, let's go ahead and take a look at that. I definitely know I want to take my L'Oreal Infallible. What shade do I have? 120 Vanilla. This is what I like to use on my under eyes. This one is a powder foundation, so it may be a little heavy for you for this area. I like the way it kind of cancels out those, sets everything, so I don't mind it. But definitely know that one will be in my makeup bag. Here's the catch. I may end up taking both of these. I'm not quite sure. But as far as setting powder, I have the e.l.f. Camo in Light 210N. This one, again, is a powder foundation. But I also have the Physicians Formula Butter Glow. I think that's just one shade. Yeah, it's a translucent. Here's my thing. I like the coverage I get from my e.l.f. I've been using this one for years now. I like it. The Physicians Formula, I may take, again, for those less makeup-y days. Maybe when I'm using this, it will be a combination. Because this one does give you a beautiful glow to the skin. You just don't get any coverage from it. I have in the past used the e.l.f. and then layered the Physicians Formula. I don't really want to do that on a cruise. I feel like that is just way too over the top. Again, I think I'm going to take them both and use this one for the lighter makeup days. Today, however, is not one of those days, but I'm going to go ahead and use the e.l.f. for today. I need the coverage that it will offer. So So let's get everything set with that one. This is definitely on the heavier side. Alright, now let's bronze the face. I did mention there would be a powder bronzer, and that is going to be the NARS Laguna. I had thought about taking the e.l.f. face duo that I use when I get a little darker, because we are going to be in that tropical setting on the beach at times. But I'm so afraid of how delicate that packaging is. And those you can only get from e.l.f.'s website now. I don't understand why they took them off of the store shelves. I'm really not happy about that. So replacing it, if something were to happen, it's not going to be the easiest. Alright, we have a little more color to the face again. Now let's talk about blush. I know I'm going to take two Milani blushes. Both of them will be different shades of their rose blushes. I have something I want to show you real quick. So I was in the store and I picked up this one. Beautiful, right? Well, when I got it, it didn't have these darker little spots on it. It was this very light shade. I was like, interesting, okay. This is the shade 05 Coral Cove. As I mentioned, it was just this lighter shade. Once you put your brush in it a few times, you're going to get these little darker shades here. Alright, well, I was like, I remember that name. So of course I already had a Coral Cove from back in the day. You want to see the difference? Take a look. Look at that. This is the original Coral Cove. This is the new Coral Cove. Let me put them side by side here for you. Original, new. They both say 05 Coral Cove. As you can see, let me close them up for you. Packaging, the lettering is a little different. Original, new. That's a stark difference. This one I always had to be careful with. Put a little bit on, add it if you need it. This one, not so much, but it can still be a little overwhelming. Very interesting. And I will go ahead and say that's not the only shade that's changed. The one I'm going to be taking on the trip is this new one, because you don't really have to be as careful as the old version. I kind of want to use coral rather than pink, because I think it will give a little bit more of that bronze tropical look than if I were to just go with pink. There's our blush. I think it works even though the eyes are a little more purpley pink. I think this still works. And again, I do like the look that that blush gives. Again, I'll be taking this one and a different shade. Plus, I trust this packaging. I do plan to take my makeup in my carry-on to have it with me rather than in a check bag, but still, things can get bumpy. I don't want anything breaking, shattering, messing up, so I trust the packaging of the Milani. For highlighter, I plan to take my Flower Beauty. This one this is their Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette, and I think it's SP1. This one you have 3 different options. You have a pink, a gold, and a cooler kind of champagne color. Today, what do we want to do? I think I want to go with the gold. These are highly, highly pigmented, and honestly, I don't even know if they make this anymore. But I'm still using it. Look at that glow it gives you. Because usually I like very subtle glow, but for this cruise, I want to go a little extra. Alright, to lock all of this in, I'm going to need a setting spray. For the trip, I'm going to take the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is a travel size though, so I don't want to use it today because it's not full. I have used it some. So for purposes of today, I'm going to be using my Milani, but for the trip, I'll definitely be taking the All Nighter. On that same vein, I'll also be taking this travel size Bad Gal Bang mascara. It is travel size and I have already opened it, so I don't want to use that one today. Today I'm going to be using the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Stretch and Strengthen with this Bambi oversized eyes. I may take all 3 of these, but I definitely know I want to take the Bad Gal Bang. But for today's purposes, we're going to go with the CoverGirl and the L'Oreal. I will say I love this CoverGirl mascara. I feel like it really lengthens, but my younger sister tried it and she did not like it. I was very intrigued by that. So let me know in the comments if you've used this CoverGirl Stretch and Strengthen mascara. Did you like it or did you hate it? There we have the eyes. Not extra, not too much, just a little something something. The lips now. Oh, I'm going to take my tried and true. I have my LA Girl Gingerbread Lip Liner and my L'Oreal Colorise Shine lipstick in Shining Peach. I do have others that I plan to take as well. This is just my tried and true. Definitely need to take a sharpener as well. So this is one of the looks that I could achieve taking all the products that I showed you today. Again, the eyes could be different, the blush could be different, the concealer will definitely be different. Overall though, it's not bad. It has warmth, it has that pop of color on the eyes, perfect for a cruise. If you're interested to see how I pack when I'm traveling, then go ahead and click on one of the 2 videos that I have on the screen for you. And don't worry, there will be more packing videos for this trip as well.